Module 6 Result of Propagandists.
So, hello guys. My name is Jeric Malakas Tibalili. So, andito po kami ngayon para magasik ng lagim. Magasik ng kaalaman. So, dito po kami ngayon para mag-report. So, ang topic namin is Rizal as a propagandist or propaganda. So, Jose Rizal is one of the forerunners of the propaganda movement that awakened the Filipino people from the abuse of the Spanish colonizer. So ano nga ba ang propaganda? So ano nga ba ang purpose ng propaganda? Or yun nga, ano nga ang purpose ng propaganda? So ang propaganda is to influence people's opinion or behavior actively. So ano nga ba propaganda? Yun na, ano nga ba ang propaganda? So, ang propaganda kasi po, ito po yung dissemination of information. So, kumbaga, ito yung nagbibigay ng facts, arguments, rumors, life truths, or half-truths, or lies to influence public opinion. So, ito yung propagandist or ang propagandist, ito yung nagpo-produce ito yung someone who produce pala o someone who produce a propaganda o nag-spread siya ng propaganda. So ito nga kaya nga po si Jose Rizal nakipagtulungan sa mga Pilipino para yun, ma-spread niya ang mga yun nga sinabi ko kanina, ma-spread niya mga ideas, facts, or allegation, the ability to further a cause, to damage a opposing cause. So kaya nga po nakipagtulungan si Jose Rizal sa mga Pilipino kasi kawawa kasi yung mga Pilipino, walang kaalam-alam. Lagi na lang tayong inaabuso ng mga Spanish. So, napag-decidean siguro ni Jose Rizal na tulungan tayo at bigyan ng idea. Kaya yun, naging Philippine hero siya dito sa atin kasi siya lang yung taong tumulong at nagbigay ng idea sa atin. Thank you. Next.
So good day to each and everyone. My name is Joshua Gregorio and this is my video presentation. So the topic that assigned to me is the propaganda movement. So the propaganda movement was a patriotic socio-political organization founded in 1872 by Filipinos who had settled in Europe. So its members were mainly the Filipino liberals exiled in 1872 and the Filipino students studying in Europe's universities at this time. So also considered a cultural and literary organization, the propaganda had a principal publication, the La Solidaridad. So the main purpose of this organization is to stop war against Spain and Philippines and to bring peace. But not only by stop war and bring peace, the propagandists especially advocated the recognition of the Philippines as a province of Spain and its representation in the Spanish Parliament. Number 2, the secularization of the Philippine parishes and clergy. Number 3, the equality between the Spanish and the Filipino, especially in entering government service. Number 4, establishment of government-funded schools not run by the friars. Number 5, the abolition of the polo, forced labor, and the vandala, forced sale of local products to the government. And the last, the recognition of human rights and freedom, especially the freedoms of speech and the association. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Jose Rizal established the Civic Association in the house of Doroteo Onjanco at Ilaya Street, Tondo, Manila, on July 3, 1892. Thought it was Jose Maria Pasa who convinced of the establishment of La Liga Filipina or the Philippines League. His friend and namesake Jose Rizal was the one who wrote its constitution in Hong Kong and actually founded it upon his return in the Philippines in 1892.
Considered an indirect upshot and subsidiary of the propaganda, the La Liga aimed to directly involve the patriotic Filipinos, especially those based in the country, in the reform movement intending to uplift the life of the Filipinos. The society would promote mutual aid through projects like establishing cooperatives to provide supports like legal assistance, scholarship grants, and economic loans. The La Liga, among others, aimed to unite the whole archipelago into one strong and united organization, have mutual protection in every need and want, serve as a defense against all violence and injustices, encourage education, agriculture and commerce, and study the application of reforms.
The meeting in the house of Doroteo Onjanco was attended by at least 20 Filipinos, including Andres Bonifacio and Apolinario Mabini. Rizal explained an aim of La Liga. Rizal explained the aim of the La Liga Filipina, and officers were afterward elected, having Ambrosio Salvador as the president and Deodato Arellano as secretary.
These days after the meeting, though, Rizal was arrested, imprisoned, and later deported to Dapitan. The society thus became inactive but was immediately recognized through the active efforts of Andres Bonifacio and Domingo Franco. The revived organization expressed its support for the propaganda movement and its cause and vowed to raise funds for its operations. However, disagreements on how reform should be attained soon emerged as some members wanted armed revolution whereas others wanted to preserve La Liga's principle of a peaceful reform. The La Liga was thus dissolved before long and its membership split into two groups. The Cuerpo de Compromisarios, which comprised the conservatives who aimed to continue supporting the La Solidaridad, and the Katipunan, which consisted of the radicals led by Bonifacio. The Cuerpo ultimately died out while the Katipunan attracted many Filipinos. Historical, therefore, Rizal's La Liga gave birth to Bonifacio's Katipunan.
The Katipunan, officially named Kataas-Taasan, Kagalang-galangan, Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, or highest and most honorable society
of the Children of the Nation.
or KKK.
The Katipunan was a revolutionary society formed by patriotic Filipinos in Manila in 1892.
The word Katipunan comes from the Tagalog root word people,
Which means to gather together. The term Katipunan thus means association or society.
So hi guys, this is the history of the history of the Kidlat-Lab. Kidlat-Lab was purely a social society of a temporary nature. Rizal founded the Kidlat-Lab simply to bring together the young Filipinos in French capital so that they could enjoy their sojourn in the city during the duration of the Universal Exposition. So why Rizal named the Kidlat-Lab? This organization was named at Kidlat-Lab only because of the fact that it would last during the exposition and will eventually disappear like a lighting after the Universal Exposition. On the day that the opening of the Universal Exposition of Paris on May 1889, Rizal and the Kidlat-Lab members was fascinated with the exhibition. One of the highlights of the event was the 984 feet height Eiffel Tower, which one was built by Alexander Eiffel of the Third French Republic. At the time, the Eiffel Tower was known as the tallest tower in the world, and 1,000 of people from all countries came to visit the French capital to admire the masterpiece of Paris. In Paris, Rizal continued to be busy in his chases. He checked up his historical notes on Morga's book. He wrote letters to his household in Calamba, giving an interesting history of his life in Paris. Like any ordinary people too, in a foreign land, Rizal was fascinated by the Universal Exposition of Paris, which opened on May 6, 1889. And Rizal and his friends attended the GAP ceremonials and saw the film editing on the thread by President Sadi Cannon on the Third French Republic.
Was the third epoch, which was to see the freedom of Filipinos after the elimination of Spanish rule by force of arms. Later, Babini would add to this external revolution the internal one of perspective, the Filipino of taking him back to the old virtues of the race. In fact, Hanisto had already begun to do just this through these mga aral na katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, teaching of the katipunan, which when put to practice by the katipuneros would bring the our peoples one in blood and fatherhood, happiness without and to make up for the lives sacrificed, the labors undergone, the suffering endured obtain it.
The legacy of the propaganda, the tripartite view of the Philippine history. The majority of national histories in the Third World can be grouped into three broad categories. It's pre-colonial, colonial, and post-colonial. Philippine historiography and historical knowledge, the Filipino viewpoint, however, was formed before to the arrival of the Spaniards. It was created during the propaganda movement and formed what was believed to be the historical worldview of the revolutions. The final conflict to abolish slavery, the colonists and users in a new era of freedom. This three-sided view of our nation's history throughout the propaganda and revolution had a positive effect on the emerging nation's mentality. When the Spanish arrived, they gave the Filipinos timelines of events and an interpretation from the outside. This was the job of the propaganda and revolution's Filipino thinkers. Rizal must have thought that 100 years did not always refers to a country.
Hi, this is my topic. My topic is all about tripartite view of the Philippine history. Tripartite FAC agreement included by Germany, Italy, and Japan on September 27, 1940. 1 year after the start, World War II, it created a defense alliance between the country and was largely intended to deter the United States from entering the conflict. Tripartite view of the Philippine history. Essentially, word consists of the version of the two Spanish philosophy of the history and addition of third approach and history type. Tripartite presented a common worldview among the activists of the propaganda and revolution. Tripartite approach to the Philippine history is what the propagandists use. This tells us that we have civilization before the Spaniards come. Tripartite view of our history says that it was the Spain who just brought the problem and impeded the growth of our country.
Rizal as a propagandist, the propaganda movement, the Liga Pilipina, and the Katipunan. Because of the advent of contemporary film focusing on some specific Filipino heroes, the propaganda movement was a patriotic socio-political organization founded in 1872 by Filipinos who had settled in Europe. Rizal is one of the forerunners of the propaganda movement that awake the Filipino people from the abuse of Spanish colonizers, said Raymond Basilio, a history of teacher for 3 years in a school in Bukidnon. The propaganda movement 1872 to 1892 was the first Filipino nationalist movement led by a Filipino elite and inspired by the proto-nationalist activism of figures such as Jose Burgos and by his execution at the hands of colonial authorities. The La Liga Pilipina, Jose Rizal established the civic association, the House of Doroteo Ong Jonco at Elias Street, Tondo, Manila on July 3, 1892. Though it was Jose Maria Basa who conceived of the establishment of La Liga Pilipina. And the Katipunan is officially named Kataas-taasan Kagalang-galang Katipunerong mga anak ng bayan. The Katipunan was a revolutionary society formed by a patriotic Filipinos in Manila in 1982. The word Katipunan comes from the Tagalog root word tipon, which means to gather together. The propaganda movement developed with the Filipino students studying in Europe in those days. As its core, these students by pen and tongue exposed the evils of Spanish administration and demanded freedom and equality for the Filipinos. And let's proceed to the Kidlat Club historians. The historians of the Kidlat Club Rizal also became either the founder or leader of some other Filipino organization like the Kidlat Club, a temporary social club which brought together Filipinos witnessing the Paris Exposition in 1889. And the second to the last of our topic is a legacy of the propaganda. Tripartite approach to the Philippine history is what the propagandists use. This tells us that we have civilization before the Spaniards came. Tripartite view of our history says that it was Spain who just brought the problems and impede the growth of our country. The tripartite views of Philippine history. Tripartite approach to Philippine history is what the propagandists use. This tells us that we have civilization before. Tripartite view of our history says that it was Spain who just brought the problems. The tripartite views of history. The broad division of national histories in the Third World into pre-colonial, colonial, and post-colonial has its equivalent in Philippine historiography and historical consciousness. And also about the propaganda movement. Rizal fervor in exposing injustice and oppression should be an inspiration to the Filipino youth in the present days. Then, said Gabriel Maricanda, an officer of the League of Filipino Students in Lanao, said the propaganda movement during the Spanish era is the first propaganda movement that is nationalist in nature. However, there is a second propaganda movement, a nationalist democratic propaganda movement that started during the Senator Claro Mayo Recto in 1960s. On why it is a nationalist and democratic propaganda movement, Kanda said the second propaganda movement is aimed at liberating the Philippines from the indirect colonization of the United States. She added that it's democratic in a sense that it seeks to give that land back to the tillers that comprises the majority of the Filipino people. The other important propagandists include Graciano Lopez Chain, a noted orator and pamphleteer who had left the island for Spain in 1880 after the publication of his satirical